What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got an excellent competitive match for you guys to check out. This is 100% competitive dueling from two very good decks. I know I get criticized sometimes for having too many casual decks, but I think you guys will enjoy this duel. Obviously, we have two Dracos at the top, one of the perennial powerhouses in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. For competitive playing anyways, I expect it to be a significant factor at the North American WCQ and Euros obviously coming up. And then at the bottom, we have Dark Magician, which is probably still tier 2-ish, but it's, it's one of my favorite decks in the game, a deck that I still have a lot of respect for. And I think that with Spellbooker Rudra coming out and Code of the Duelist, I think that Dark Magician are going to take a step forward. Also, obviously when we get the new rules for Link format, the fact that Dark Magician really doesn't need to use its extra deck all that much, definitely going to benefit the deck because you don't really have to, worry about using Link monsters. Now, Spellbooker Rudra is obviously going to help Dark Magician because it turns basically anything you put on the field into, just a potential Destiny draw target, and that's really big. And it also gives you the option to run Blue Boy. See, one of the things about Dark Magician is it doesn't really have that many good normal summons in the deck, especially if you go first. The only thing you really want to normal summon is Magician's Rod, but if you don't open up with one of those 3 copies, Blue Boy gives you another great card to normal summon. You normal summon your Blue Boy, you search a copy of your Spellbooker Rudra, you activate it, you draw 2 more cards, and then hopefully at that point, especially with like Pot of Duality being kind of a staple in Dark Magician decks, hopefully you'll get Circle or you'll get, some of your other combo pieces. Because when Dark Magician gets set up and it gets its combo pieces going, it's a difficult deck to stop. Well, I mean, as long as your Eternal Soul doesn't get blown up. If it does, then rest in pepperonis. You're going to see right here what I'm talking about now. He runs Spellbooker Secrets, which I probably wouldn't run because I think that shit is dead. And he only runs 1 copy of Blue Boy, which is exactly what I was thinking. I was like, if I'm gonna run Blue Boy, just run 1 copy because all Dark Magician players for the most part run Skill Drain as well. And this is definitely a good opening. Obviously it could have been better if he would have opened with Circle, but this is what you want out of Dark Magician. You want to go +1 turn 1, and you just want to get a locked and loaded back row. You see he has the Eternal Soul. The Secrets is kind of dead, but I mean, I guess it can get him another copy of Rudra, but that will be obviously next turn. His opponent does activate that diagram. Now, if he would have had something like the Circle, obviously he could have went into Magician Navigation. He could have just banished it, but unfortunately he doesn't. And I believe his opponent not just is going to drop Dynamite, but I think he's going to drop Masterpiece as well with a card of Demise. So definitely not looking so good, but he is going to activate Navigation. He's going to get Dark Magician, and then he gets Illusion, and that's gonna proc, but he uses Masterpiece on Illusion, which, I mean, do you guys think that was the right play? Because I don't. That ends up prompting him to use the 2nd copy of Navigation, and even though he doesn't have Circle to banish anything, I'm not gonna lie, if you get 2 Navigations in your graveyard set up, especially if you can keep Dark Magician on the field, your opponent's gonna have a very rough time using spells for the rest of the game. Like, it's just, you have so much negation and whatnot. Not to mention, you can obviously negate their traps, so he still ends up with the Illusion. Now he activates Dark Magic Attack, which is super fun because he has 5 cards in his back row, and I was like, oh, this should be fun. So he ends up basically getting a Feather Duster, but the problem is, obviously, when you hit some of the cards in True Dracos, they can pop your cards as well. Now, I think that was a misplay. He went into, I believe that's Ebon, right? Yeah, he went into Ebon High Magician, and I have to wonder because obviously Masterpiece just blew it up. He just sent so many Draco spells and traps to the graveyard. Masterpiece is locked and loaded. I wonder if maybe he should have went for Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon because he already has, like, he has a way of summoning his Dark Magician. I think maybe he just kind of wanted to bait out the, I'm thinking maybe he just wanted to be able to bait out the copy of Masterpiece, but I don't know. I feel like maybe he should have just went for Red Eyes, but he still did need to eventually get, Masterpiece. So this time he's going to summon, he summons the copy of Illusion, or excuse me, oh my goodness, I forgot his name. Yeah, Magician of Dark Illusion. Obviously that summons a Dark Magician as well. He goes into Big Eye, steals Masterpiece. I thought the duel was pretty much over at this point. If you're stealing Masterpiece, you're in good position. And then when his opponent tries to activate, I think this is Disciple, right? Yeah, when his opponent tries to activate Disciples, those Magician's Navigations start basically kicking in. And at that point, I don't think True Draco can top deck out of this situation because any spells and traps that he was going to top deck and try and activate, like he had another Navigation in his graveyard, and obviously he still had the Eternal Soul, and you just can't. Dark Magician is extremely hard to top deck against if your opponent already has Eternal Soul. So a very good win for Dark Magician, and it was done completely without without the Dark Magic Circle, which is basically the card that holds the entire Dark Magician, deck together. If he had Circle, I think that this could have been a complete and utter blowout. What was his face down? Oh, his face down was a third copy of Navigation, which obviously was locked and loaded as well. So yeah, but I mean, if you get your Masterpiece taken, you can pretty much just close any opportunity of you winning the game at that point. It just sucks though that Illusion is so difficult to get. Well, not even that. Well, no, she is difficult to get, but it sucks that she's so expensive because I imagine that most of the cards for Dark Magician, Navigation, and Circle are going to get reprinted, but you still obviously have that huge elephant in the room that is Illusion, Apprentice, and the fact that she costs so much money. So Dark Magician probably just won't be a cheap deck for quite some time. But a really interesting and exciting replay to show you guys, especially if, like me, you're a Dark Magician fan. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.